Howdy, howdy. The best of the best in the NIC-10 hit the track Thursday night at Belvedere's Funderburg Stadium for the Boys Conference Championship meet. From blazing sprints to clutch field events, it was a night packed with intensity and talent. Let's check out the highlights. With Thursday's weather, the wind gusts were on full display at the Conference Championship meet, and multiple NIC-10 athletes were ready to display their athleticism. Here's B-North's Nathan Alexander on the long jump. And shooting over to discus, here's Hano's star Jacob Benson launching the disc out of orbit on his first throw. He finished the meet in third in discus behind Harlem's Connor Penny and Auburn's Timothy Neighbors, the third, taking first. To start the track events, it was the boys 4x800 meter relay with all of these athletes starting the race side by side. At the end of the first lap, Harlem is in first with B-North and Hano narrowly trailing, but come the first handoff, Belvedere North shoots in front with Harlem trailing and Hano not too far behind. And to close out the 4x800, Belvedere North's Isaac Irwin, Trent Lebensorger, Jesse Kramer, and Christian Vucevic take first place, while Hananiga finishes in second and Harlem in third. However, multiple storm delays pushed the meet back late into the night on Thursday, so those are all of the highlights for the meet.